everyone, and welcome to Season 4 of Quality Time. I'm your new host, Laura Cady, and I am so excited to be here with you. First off, thank you for tuning in today. Whether you're a long-time listener or this is your very first episode, I'm grateful you're here. If you've been following along, you may have heard a little bit about me in the Pass-Off episode with Colleen Schmidt. But today, I want to take a little more time to share who I am, where I come from, and why I'm so honored to walk with you through this season as we explore early literacy. I'm a native Nebraskan, born and raised in Omaha. For the last 20 years, my path has centered on learning everything I can about early childhood education, Spanish, international mindedness, family engagement, and also how to best support multilingual learners. Before returning to Nebraska, I had the incredible opportunity to teach internationally at a British school for 4 years in Bogota, Colombia. In my classroom of 16 third graders, there were 10 nationalities represented. That experience was real-world learning in the truest sense. It taught me that our differences make us stronger and that being unique is something to be celebrated. I've been deeply inspired by my students and their families learning in their second, sometimes third language. It takes tremendous bravery to live in a different country, navigate a new culture, adapt to a new school system, and learn a new language. I am continuously reminded of that courage over and over throughout my career, and it's really shaped the way I approach teaching, coaching, as well as supporting children and families today. Currently, I work as an early childhood specialist at the Buffett Early Childhood Institute. At the Buffett Early Childhood Institute, we believe children are born learning. In my role, I have the privilege of coaching and collaborating with teachers and family engagement staff who support children from birth all the way through age 8. Together, our goal is to create a strong foundation to ensure that all children and families have access to the quality early learning experiences they need to grow and thrive. I like to think of myself as a boots on the ground type of person. I like to roll up my sleeves. I love being in the classroom. I love standing side by side with educators and families. That's where I learn the most, and also that's where I have the most fun. If I had to name one thing at the root of who I am, it would be curiosity. Curiosity has been the thread pulling me forward throughout my life. It's what's led me to study abroad as well as teach abroad, to push myself to try new things and take risks. Honestly, even stepping into this role as a podcast host is an example of that curiosity. Colleen beautifully guided this podcast before me, and she said something that really stuck with me. Being a podcast host requires you to step outside of your comfort zone. It's simple, but over time, I'm finding that being a little uncomfortable, leaning into that space of not knowing, not being the expert, not sounding perfect, is actually where I learn and grow the most. So slowly but surely, that space outside my comfort zone is becoming one of my favorite places to be. So service is woven into my DNA. My mom was a nurse. One of my sisters has worked in early childhood for decades. She's actually director of a child care program in rural Kansas. Another has dedicated her career to the nonprofit world, and my other sister is an educator. Being surrounded by people who give their lives to serving has shaped who I am. It's also why I feel so inspired by you, the educators, leaders, partners, providers who listen to this podcast. Every single day, you show up for Nebraska children and families. The work you do with Step Up to Quality is making a real impact. Early childhood is one of the most important times in a child's life, and the care, support, and guidance you provide is laying the foundation for a lifetime of learning and growth. I really am honored to celebrate the amazing work happening across the state. I know that work is not easy. It can feel daunting, exhausting. Sometimes, honestly, it's an uphill climb. But please hear me. The work you do matters. You matter. And on the hard days, I hope you can remind yourself of just these two things. One, you can do hard things. And two, have grace for each other. Please, we're all learning, we're all growing, and we need one another. I hope this podcast can be one way that we walk together. So, a little bit about me outside of my professional role. I do consider myself a lifelong learner in many other ways. Fun fact recently, I've been experimenting with growing my own food in a garden, but also fermenting sauerkraut, drying my own herbs, and even making my own tea blends. For a long time, I've been deepening my yoga practice. It's been so important for me to find balance and quiet, especially in the middle of a busy world and a busy life. When I'm not doing those things, let's see, you'll probably find me in the kitchen, cooking, riding my bike. Yes, a bicycle, the pedal kind, not a motorcycle, but thank you for thinking I'm cool. I also love to go look for mountains to climb, dance floors to salsa on, and, going to see live music is one of my favorite hobbies as well. Please don't forget, I'm a cat lady. I'm also a very loyal reader. My emotional support Kindle goes just about everywhere with me. Okay, so what can you expect here on Quality Time in Season 4? First, know this. This podcast is casual. It is fun and rooted in joy and curiosity. Think of it as a gift of imperfection. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to be real, to wonder together, and to celebrate the important work happening across our state. This season, we'll be digging into the big, beautiful topic of early literacy. Together, we'll explore what it means to nurture a lifelong love of reading, starting at birth, and why it matters so much. We'll hear from experts at the Nebraska Department of Education, leaders at our local libraries, directors from Educare, staff from Kids Can Community Center, as well as an outstanding pediatrician who also happens to be an author. We will also hear from experts on class and the environmental rating scales, explore digital literacy, and so much more. Along the way, we'll share practical strategies, inspiring stories, and plenty of ideas of how we can work together to create a culture of literacy for every child. So whether you're listening on your way to work, during your break, or while you're taking a walk, thank you for making space for quality time. I'm Laura Cady, your new host, and I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Season 4.